Hi, it's the Lipstick Owl. Thanks for watching today, and I wanted to revisit Collab makeup. It's been a while since I've put any significant amount of makeup on my face. I've been kind of living in really light makeup or no makeup for the majority of the last several weeks because I've been dealing with a biopsy spot on my nose, and you can kind of see it. It's like right here. If you look really hard, you'll see it. But I went to see my dermatologist for a once a year head to toe body check. She found a spot that was like, oh, that doesn't look good. It could be basal cell carcinoma, so she biopsied it. And then I had to let it heal, and it took almost like 2 weeks solid before I could even put any makeup on it. But results came back, it's benign, but I am like in a renewed vigor to wear more sunscreen, to be good to my skin, to stay out of the sun, and to make sure I keep that yearly appointment with my dermatologist, and I want to recommend the same to you. So before we get started on our collab makeup today, thank you for watching. Subscribe if you haven't, and let's talk about what we're going to be talking about. One is one I think is really popular. This is the Amrezy highlighter from Anastasia Beverly Hills. It's a beautiful product. I got this when they re-promoted it at the tail end of 2018, because the first time it came out, I was kind of like, I don't need any more highlighters, and then it got snapped up, and that was it because it was limited. And then they re-promoted it again, and I was grateful, but I have those mixed feelings about, is it really limited, or are you just not telling me the truth? The other thing we're going to be using today is this right here. It's from Colourpop. It's a Salvaje palette with Becky G. And the colors in here are just gorgeous. I absolutely love the way this palette looks, but I find that I have been using like those really safe colors, like, this neutral brown, more of these shimmer tones, and I've been purposefully skipping like some of these warmer, darker, rusty tones, these deeper, like this bright teal and this deep kind of tealy green, and then some of these more warmy shades, like that orangey shade. But today, we're going for it. All right, so I've already put some concealer on my lids and set it with some loose powder. So I'm just gonna go into this shade right here. This bottom neutral brown here is called Caramelo. We're just gonna put that in the crease. So I literally have not dipped into either this shade here, which is Malbec, and this one here, which is Sangria, and I think it's time to use at least one of them. I think I'm gonna go with this kind of deeper, more red leaning tone, and we're going to put a little bit of that kind of on the outer edge. These really bright red shades are so intimidating to me, but I'm trying to get over that. I did a whole look using the new watermelon palette from Colourpop. I'll link that for you above. Apparently I love Colourpop. I think a lot of people do, but that palette was straight up red, and it was a very interesting look. So not only am I trying to overcome some of my beauty hesitations or push my beauty boundaries, if you will, I'm also just trying to make sure that I use the full palette to its fullest potential. I think I need just a little bit more depth, so I'm going to use this shade here. This one's called Cafecito. It's a really beautiful deep brown. And we're going to put this just on the outside corner. I can't believe I still have this. I've been trying to get through this. It's been slow going today. So my initial inclination is to take like one of these shimmery shades here and just plop it all over the lid, but I think that would be the easy way out. I'm going to use a little bit of a combination of these two and see what we look like on the lid. So at this point, I am going to take this one here. This one's called Estrella. It's the most glorious, super shiny champagne shade. And I'm going to use that kind of like right here in the inner third of my lid and see if I can mix it with those tealy colors I've got going on the rest. I'm going to do a combination of the same thing of this kind of medium brown, or I guess it's more of like a lighter brown, called Caramelo, and then some of Sangria and Cafecito all along the bottom lash line. The last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use this really pale, almost a bone shade called Luna to highlight my brow bone. I'm going to throw on some liner and some mascara, and then we'll be back to put on some highlight. Ready to put some highlight on? I sure am. I love this highlight. I feel like it has a slightly different formula than some of the other Anastasia Beverly Hills. I have a couple of their palettes that are quads. Oh, look at that. That is just the most beautiful. A little bit on the bridge of my nose. Oh, it's like magic. I feel like my inner corner highlight isn't strong enough, so I'm going to put a little bit of this in there too. Oh, hello. Might be too much. Do you ever get to that point where you're like, what are you doing? I'm going to buff it out a little bit. Oh. So gorgeous. So here you go. I really love this highlight. I feel like, I don't know why I'm not grabbing for this on the regular, and I feel like I have so many highlights, I frequently forget how good it is. It is remarkably gorgeous, and I don't feel like it leaves any sort of a dark stripe on my face when it's not hitting the light. I feel like it kind of just melts in and is invisible, but the minute it hits the light, it's just like little baby angels singing. I just makes me happy. So this palette is one that I picked up this spring, and I hadn't used that frequently, and I picked it up because the colors in here are beautiful. They really called to me, but also there's a lot of Spanish words in here, and my nostalgic little half Mexican heart, my mother's Mexican, my father's not, it just reminds me of my growing up years. So like estrella, cafecito, celosa, sirena, patrona, corona, caramelo, like all of those words just make me go, so happy. So that's kind of like why I picked it up. But the colors are also beautiful. I think it does make for a really pretty look on the eye. The one problem I had was this color here. This one's called Sirena. And I noticed that when I put it on my eye and was starting to blend it, that it would grab in places and I'd have more intense pigment in one spot. I thought, well, let me just keep blending. And the more I blended, certain places would blend away. I feel like it kind of, like where you place it, it grabs. And then as you try and blend it, as you try and move it around, it doesn't move around as easily as some of the other colors. It is a really pretty matte, and it is kind of like the really bright, the one bright anchor of this eye look, but it was a little fussy to work with for me. Now, I'm not a professional makeup artist. I am not somebody who uses bright colors like this. It might have been the way that I set my lid. I just used the Juvia's Place concealer and then just some loose powder to set my whole lid, because if I don't do that, I'm worried I'm going to have more of that grabbing and then not budging. And I can blend and blend and blend and blend, and it doesn't work as well. So I thought if I was going to be using one of these bright, more punchy colors, I better set my lid, and I did. Now there are days that if I'm using just neutrals, I don't always set my lid. I just let the concealer kind of have that kind of grabby, sticky texture, so whatever I put on it just kind of locks down and stays. But I did notice for a while I had like a little white line. So I had the light brown up above, in the crease and above, and then this more tealy color on the lid. And the problem that I saw is the more as I tried to blend and blend and blend, I had a little white line like right in my crease. So it's a little fussy. And I don't know if I was overworking it. I also feel like I lost some of this red by continuing to blend and blend and blend that I had kind of out here to kind of warm up the look a little bit. I'm sure at this point I could go in and add a little bit more right now, but I'm at the point if I continue to play with this, it's just going to get worse. But I do love this palette. I think the colors are gorgeous. I think I've used everything in here now, and I think that it's a really beautiful spread of colors. I don't know, I think it might be on sale right now. Let me double check, because I knew it was on sale for a while, but I do really like this palette a lot. And I feel like for summer, this is going to be great for me because I'll use more of these, you know, brighter colors or more warmer colors. And I'm slowly moving into not being just a neutral brown in the crease and calling it good. All right, so overall, Hello. Why, how could I forget how gorgeous you are? And definitely a fun look for today. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know if you have a favorite collaboration piece of makeup. It doesn't have to be an eyeshadow palette, it doesn't have to be a highlight, it could be anything at all. If you have a favorite, let me know what it is, or the ones that you reach for, or maybe there's one that you were like, oh, I wish I'd picked that up and I didn't. I have a couple of those where I have some kind of like, oh, I missed my opportunity and it's gone now. But I would love to know what your favorite collab makeup is, or the ones that you wished you had jumped the gun on when it was time. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you again soon.